works. I've already hit some drugs on the vehicle. Dallas doesn't know where they are. We used to do this, and he would watch me, and then he would cheat. So we left him here. He's a smart dog. So I'm going to turn you over to Harry. He's our assistant chief. He is our K9 handler, and I'll let you tell them a little more.
Again, thanks everybody for coming out. We really do appreciate it. We get no funding. All our funding comes from donations. We have nothing else. So everything that you donate comes directly to Dallas for his insurance, things that he may need. What we're looking for this year is an automatic door popper. What it'll be is a overheat system in the vehicle. If the car gets too hot, the air conditioner goes off, or it gets too cold, it'll automatically signal me, it'll turn the lights and the siren on, and then if it gets to a condition and I don't get back to it, it'll actually open his door so he can get out. The main thing about him is I take care of my buddy. He's my best friend. He's the best partner I've ever had. He's phenomenal. Like I said, the door popper is also, I will have a button on my belt. If I get into a situation where I need Dallas to help me, all I have to do is push the button and he will immediately come to my aid and do what needs to be done. So the way Dallas alerts, Dallas is a passive alert. They used to train canines where they would scratch and bite at the drug that they find. They no longer do that because people like to booby trap things. So what Dallas will do when he finds it, he will sit. He'll look at it and then look at me to tell me it's right here. And the rule of thumb is it's usually within an arm's length of where he sits. A lot of times if the odor is very strong, it'll be a little bit further away. Dallas has found things as small as one syringe. It was in our park actually, and he actually found that one used syringe. He has a great nose. He has found drugs in a car that the back seat was packed with stuff, and the drugs were actually in 2 sealed bags. Inside of a duffel bag that was covered with clothes and all kinds of junk. And you can't throw them off. We try. We take them. We go into Dollar General sometimes, and we'll hide pseudo drugs like we have today, and we hide it in the candle aisle or in the coffee aisle. Whatever we try to throw them off with, it doesn't work. He has found drugs in gas tanks. Their noses are amazing. What I learned when I went to school with him is when we walk into a house and smell stew, we smell stew cooking. He smells carrots and peas, and they break everything down. So when they're trained, he knows what he's looking for, and he's actually very good at it. So I'm going to get him out, and Lieutenant Bertholf is going to continue on and let you know what I'm up to. He's in the air conditioning now, enjoying himself.
So the money that we raised the past 2 years through this car show and through your generous donations have actually allowed us to purchase the cage that is now in the back of the car for him. Dallas used to be in a wrought iron crate in the back because we didn't have the funding to get the new cage. So with supply chain issues and us trying to raise the money, we're actually able to get the cage in there now for him. There's a partition. He's air conditioned now. We have the ability now to put a prisoner in the back seat where he can't get to the dog can't get to the person. He might bark a little bit more, but that's okay. We don't want to welcome an environment that way. So Harry's going to get him suited up. The thing with him, the reason we have everybody back as far as we do is number one, we don't want him distracted because he's very protective of us. You'll notice that when he's working, if we're moving around, he's constantly watching where we are too. But if he sees someone coming closer, he's just going to react to that, not focus on what he's supposed to be doing. So we're going to get his vest on him. Harry's going to do some commands with him, and we're going to roll from there. So we'll show you what's going on, and hopefully he's not too tired and finds what we hit on the car. I'm sure you guys all saw what I did, so we're going to see if he's able to catch up. What's up, buddy?
We're going to start this on
What you got to do? And for those of you guys that didn't see, this thing's, we put this in the gas tank. This is actually a pseudo drug. This is cocaine. It's not real cocaine, but this is the training stuff we use with him. So we hide it. I usually try to put it in the gas tank every so often. We don't want to put it in the same spot all the time, but the gas tends to throw him off. Some of the things that can hinder his finding stuff, like Harry mentioned, he goes to the Dollar General. Sometimes he's a Tractor Supply. They've got the air circulators in there, so he usually gets within arm's length of where he needs to be and finds this stuff. So his nose is pretty good. Are you getting his pig now? I buy the most annoying toys for this dog. We had a rubber chicken with a police hat, and he destroyed that thing. Where's the Frisbee? Let me tell the Frisbee story.
Yeah.
So Nerf has these indestructible Frisbees. Yeah, here it is. He managed to hang on to this one. We had an orange one, and in about 20 minutes he had it shredded. So I sent it back, a picture of it to Nerf, just to say, hey, look, this isn't indestructible. I wasn't trying to cause a problem with them or anything, or beg for a refund. And I sent him a picture of our dog. Sit, stay. They actually sent us back 2 blue ones and told Sergeant Dallas, please be careful with these. So he got some free Frisbees too. Where are you going? Yeah. Behind you. You got anything else? Okay. We're gonna let him run around for a minute. I'm gonna go get my kid now. The funny part about him is he's very friendly and he's not working, but this is playtime. Want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Hey. He's insane. Come on. Who's got a question? Go ahead. Yeah, you want to try? Wayne, come here.
Yeah, I was thinking he's
Wait, come here,
maybe
seriously.
somebody has some on him.
It's actually not legal in the state of Pennsylvania for me to do that.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I didn't know he could detect it.
Yes. And I don't care where you may hide it, you'll find it. You can hide it anywhere you want, he's gonna find it.
Okay, we're gonna let him work Wayne. That's it. Yeah, he didn't pay attention.
Don't put your hands down.
Put your hand down. Hold your own.
Dallas.
He won't bite you, I promise.
Dallas, come. Come.
Now watch this. Watch how fast he goes back.
Drop it. Drop it. Time to work.
No.
What a muscle in his leg.
There's too many witnesses, and the district attorney's here. Don't move, Wayne.
I don't have a ball in me.
Here, give his pick.
Yeah.
Good boy.
And like I said, it's within arm's length, and that stuff reeks, so he smelled it immediately. Come here. Go ahead. Go play. Go find somebody.
Go ahead. Yeah, look. You got some sanitizer up there, man? This thing's gross. All right, I'll get them. Man. Does anybody have any other questions for us before we put him away? No, tell everybody else.
Aaron, over here.
Yes.
How much yearly training do you have to do with Dallas?
So, there's no, Harry, is there a requirement? There's no requirement, but Harry works in at least once a week when he's working in the borough. We'll take him out of the garage when there's no one around, just randomly let him in there. It's funny too, because I bought a used car when we first got him. And I had a backpack in the back of my Sonata. He just randomly walked over and sat down, so I was kind of worried about my car. So I gave that a good thorough clean. But no, we train with him about once a week. He doesn't really go away from training like we'd like to. Again, funding is an issue with that, payroll and things of that nature, but we work him as much as we can, as often as we can.
Thank you.
Jordan's scared. Yeah, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to be near you. All right, guys, thank you again for all your support. We really appreciate the question. Go ahead. I have to give you the proper answer. Yes. So he's very protective of us. If he saw something happening to me, Harry, anybody he's working with, he will do what he's got to do. He was involved. Harry, how long ago was that when you went down over on the case? You went over the bank.
That was last year sometime.
Last year, we had a guy come out of Forest City, and they called for us to help because there was a pursuit. The guy jumped, you know the overlook on this Kinsey Highway? The guy thought it was a smart idea to jump out of the hill. Dallas was right after. Never hurt the guy, but had him pinned to a tree, so he would have moved till Harry got down there. I would have loved to have seen him because he was all covered in dirt, and the dog was too. It was, yeah, he was pretty mad at me. He called me the next morning screaming at me. I was like, I didn't do it. So, anybody else got anything? Yeah, go ahead.
How do you know what dog will be good at doing their job?
We don't. We got extremely lucky. There was, how many dogs were your training? 5? We had really a choice of what animal, and we just looked and saw, like we said, he was in San Antonio. He's named after the cops that were shot in Dallas way back in the cabin. So that's why we got really lucky with him. He's a great friend. So
So you might not know if somebody a dog would be good at doing that.
correct. Yeah, we don't know. It's their training. Was it the pit bull? There was a pit bull in their class, and they were in a hotel, and the pit bull actually destroyed the couch, the lamps. Like, it was just bad. The first picture I got of him, he was laying on the bed with Harry, so I knew he was going to be okay. And the first night I met him, I walked into the burrow, he ripped my shoelace out trying to play tug of war. So I had to get a new pair of sneakers after that too, but it was all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else before we cut him loose? He's already locked up. What do you got, buddy? Hold on, I can't hear you. I'm coming. What was that? Can he find a body?
Yes,
Yes. I don't know that answer.
he
I had to
actually
look at him.
has. He has. The one.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The one that fell sick.
You're right. There was a missing person that he found. So yes, he can do that. Yep. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you so much for everything. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Again, don't forget 50